Deaf puppy, what is it like to live with a dog that can't hear? Many people think that having a deaf dog is a difficult task. As the dog's hearing, one of its main senses, is impaired, changes in routine and treatment are necessary for a good coexistence. A dog's hearing is one of the most acute senses. Do you know how many times more the dog hears in relation to humans? While we pick up sounds that reach 20,000 Hz, the dog's hearing picks up as much as 60,000 Hz. The dog's ear works like this: the vibrations of sound enter the ear, pass through the middle ear, and reach the inner ear, where these vibrations are perceived and the sound is formed, allowing the dog to hear. A deaf dog cannot pick up these vibrations. Deafness in dogs can be congenital, it is born with the dog, or acquired, developed over a lifetime by factors such as disease, distemper, foreign infections, such as otitis, and aging. Canine hearing is lost with age. The hearing of a deaf dog may pick up few sounds, partial deafness, or no sounds, total deafness. In addition, deafness can be unilateral, only in one dog's ear, or bilateral, in both ears. The signs of deafness in a puppy vary depending on its origin. Usually, the deaf dog becomes unresponsive and interacts less. Some owners even think that the dog is being rude, but in fact he just is not hearing you call. It is common that the deaf dog also begins to sleep more. Check out some signs of deafness in dogs: lack of response to commands, less interaction, shaking his head frequently, pain and black wax in the dog's ear, loss of balance, dog turning his head to both sides several times, sign of unilateral deafness, puppies that are slow to learn basic things, because they are not hearing. To learn how to know if the dog is deaf, perform a test at home, with the dog on his back, make a noise like shaking the food pot. This sound does not produce many vibrations. So if the dog does not turn at the noise, he may be deaf. Take him to the veterinarian to perform the test that accurately determines deafness in dogs to confirm the diagnosis. Methods that use visual stimuli work well. When calling the dog, point the light from a laser torch at a nearby wall a few times. With repetition and reinforcement, he will understand that this is a way for you to call him. Just be careful that the light come in direct contact with the dog's eye. At night you can turn the light switch on and off to get his attention or use a flashlight. If you are in close proximity to the dog, it is worth creating a specific touch on the animal's body that he will associate with your name. Even without dog hearing, deaf animals can be trained. Deaf dogs learn to paw, sit, and even fetch a ball. Instead of voice commands, visual commands are used. The laser attracts the animal, so it is great to show where he should go to get the ball and point to the bathroom, for example. Visual gestures are easy for dogs to understand and can be combined with light. For example, when the pet understands the gesture that means sit and successfully performs the command, point the light to his hand with his paw to signal that he got it right. In addition, always reward with treats. Positive reinforcement and repetition are essential in training a deaf dog. Although you can have a special touch to get his attention, you should avoid touching a deaf dog. Since he doesn't have canine hearing, the animal doesn't realize when someone is approaching. If someone touches him out of the blue, the deaf dog will get scared. Therefore, it is important to respect his space. If you are with other people, always make it clear that your dog is deaf and, therefore, you should not touch him. The dog collar is an essential accessory for any dog. For a deaf dog, it is even more important. Using the collar with an identification plate on walks is a way to ensure that someone can contact you if the pet gets lost. Write on it that it is a deaf dog so that whoever finds him knows this information. Some owners like to put a little bell on the deaf dog's collar to help locate him more easily. Taking walks with the deaf dog is fundamental, but always supervise. The puppy's lack of hearing allows other senses such as smell and sight to be even more acute. The use of interactive toys helps the pet to stimulate his cognitive skills in a fun way. Despite some differences in the coexistence with the deaf dog, know that, Like any dog, he also barks. The dog bark is more than just a sound, it is a form of communication and a natural reaction of the pet. Therefore, even without the canine hearing, he is able to bark whenever he is excited, angry, frustrated or happy.